Huayin Laoqiang is the name given to a traditional form of shadow puppet show. It translates as Huayin Old Tunes and originated in the chanting of the boatmen working at the confluence of the Yellow, Weihe and Luohe Rivers, close to the city of Huayin in Shaanxi province. This chanting evolved into folk songs, which with time were illustrated with puppet shows.
Look at the scenery right here. Bustling water, open space. If I told you that this is a home to one of the most ancient and unique types of folk singing in China, what would it be? It's actually a home to this really beautiful folk singing, which is called Huayin Laoqiang. Huayin is the place where I am right now. It's a really small town in Shaanxi province. And Laoqiang means old tune. And the singing is so interesting. I've never heard anything like that before in China. That's why I'm embarking on this journey, and I traveled all the way here to Huayin to understand the story behind it and what it makes it sound like it sounds right now. Wow, look at that mountain. That's so pretty. You know, I'm constantly thinking how to unlock the DNA of the style of Huayin Laoqiang. And when I look at this scenery here, what I find is these open spaces. This place is really small. It's only 200,000 people live here, relatively very small. But when you look at these mountains, how grand they are, you just want to scream. You just want to...张老师好，
你好，
你好，你好，
上边。
OK。我听说您不是参加了那个春晚的有吗？
有。
哪个是春晚的？
奏起比较慢点，看这是因为大会堂的。
哦。
吹完那个。
This equals to a performance at White House. This one.
吹完都摞起来了。
是吧？啊。哇，张老师太厉害了！春晚的工作证也是这样。
都在这边呢。这个是参加团委员那个上春委。
宝贝的青菜，下马的江山，乡情唱不尽，故事说不完，扯开了嗓子，我一老乡要一声喊。
那边是黄河对吧？
嗯。下边那个。
嗯哼。那边。
大概就是56里路那边就是黄河，这个是渭河，那边那个呢叫洛河。
Mr. Zhang tells me that this place is popularly known as Sanhekou, which means Three Rivers Mouth. In ancient times, he says, this was a major trading port.
为什么老乡叫个啊哎啊哎
When the boats needed to be rowed upstream, the oarsmen would maintain the rhythm by singing a chant. This was how the old tunes originated.
Huayin Laoqiang要一声喊来，喊得那巨灵披 华山呐、看着那老龙出青川呐、看得那黄河怪了弯呐、
为什么要下那个东西？过去古代的时候，从我给你问的那个三国，你知道？三国演义，哎，还有那个隋唐演义、封神演义、列国，那个尽是下的是英雄人物。
With time, puppet shadow shows were created to illustrate the folk songs, and Huayin Laoqiang was born as a popular form of entertainment.
人生马放旁人，你必须有这个手。
是啊，
啊，你才能说说这是张翼德，黑鲁莽，哎，
这个
哎
好玩。
再一个呢，你看到关羽他就很威闯，哎，大哥，你看他说了，再一个他姑娘呢，姑娘说话呢，哎呀，相公啊，为了活死，寻死短见你。
The old tunes were originally performed a cappella, but after the shadow play element was added, it became common for the singing to be accompanied by yueqin, or other traditional instruments. He even showed me the difference between the modern way of interpreting the music and how it was done back in the day.
俺们家过去的菩萨，六五上上，五上五上车车，这首就是嗦啦哆哆啦哆啦哆来来，
这是现代的，
就是哎，就是该是这一种的。
回来，家伙！把大旗，看就都是看就，我鬼子的大头都是木头。还要让
看，你说你好像是弹吉他的，
对，
我和你是找你不？我们这个他是这儿的，
哦，在这儿，
哎，
不对，对吧？
哎，你弹我对着呢，手下还如果弹这个呢，你就必须有这个。
哇，这是什么？
这是你说那个手料的，
啊，这个像拨片一样是吧？
哎，就是的。你那拨片那就
So
拨不出。
cool! Look, man, I've never seen a pick like this. Oh, this is so interesting. It looks like a sword. Oh. 哎，想听。你小时候是不是学习老腔也是在这种地
哎，
方
就是
学的？
那边。
The village where Mr. Zhang was born and raised has been completely renovated, but I still hope to find some traces of the places where people would listen to the old tunes and watch the shadow puppet performances.
在这里演皮影戏，
哎，这边。
在哪儿？在这儿。
哎，
哇哦！
你看你里边是绕一绕。
哦，真的是个庙啊！哇 ，This is so old。
时间长了嘛。
还有点湿啊。
啊，
那你们演出的时候会不会从四方啊都会过来很多
那
人？
有过去有很多人，这边挤的很多。不光我们这个村儿，华裔的村儿，他过去红白喜事、庙会都是皮人戏，老乡呢都是一代一代传下来的，也属于过去的姓张的家系。西草不外传，传男不传女，传内不传外。
我一直传下来。我给他们看一下。So it used to be in China that they would write from 应该是说 from the right to the left and from up to down, not like how we write it down. They would write it like this. 哇，这是很宝贵。哇哦，
都是毛笔字，他那字都是过去农村人写的，抄起来的。
哇，写的好漂亮啊！
你看网上，我就不会说名字，你看， 石兰黄黄乱如麻，不以残疾为吹沙。
这是第几代啊？
啊？
这是第
这个
几代？
这个所有都是那都是10代、9代、10代左右。
您是
我是第10代，这个就是8代么9代的事。
哦，您是第10代传
我是第
承人。
10代。
Huayin is a fascinating city. It sits at the corner of a beautiful mountain, as if sheltering behind a shield. People in China are generally very affable and easygoing, but here, they're even more open and happy to share with you whatever's on their mind. Listening to Mr. Zhang telling his stories made me feel rather like his grandson. It was a great pleasure being invited by him to his village. I got a sneak peek of how Huayin Laoqiang all began and how it developed into the art we know today. I also got the feeling that even greater things may lie in store for it in the future. Learning that this art is passed down in the family got me thinking. I wondered how keen the younger generation might be to try to master something so ancient and so challenging. Naturally, when I heard his grandson was studying it, I just knew I had to meet him.
坐这儿，
坐这，这个桌子挺好的。
还挺复古的这
对，
个地方
然后。这样就是它这个一个特色的一个菜单嘛，就有一种很复古的感觉。对，然后
竹子做的
里边就是菜单，对。
哦，
然后再就是一些其他的小吃啥的。
要不就来个油泼面，对，
行。老爸，2碗油泼面。
它很香。我知道你们家是华阴老腔的
对，
传承的嘛，你也是传承人。
对，是。
那你是全职在做吗？
我兼职在做。
祖国桃花店，
是的。
儿里过了杏花村呐。
会滑不了。
哦，这滑就好听，没有功夫不行。
那你现在是做什么工作？
现在主要是在我们市的公安局里边的特警队，它跟老乡其实挺像的，都是有气势。
特警跟老腔有什么？
就是你想它的番号和口号嘛，就跟老乡一样有一种恢宏的气势。
加油！女娃们，娘娘不留情，整管是口成活塞。女儿啊，北说太阳飞，东啊北到西啊边。
有新的尝试啊？
有，
是啥？
因为他出身于皮影戏嘛，然后我们就跟我一个朋友，他做了一个近现代的一个皮影。
Zhang tells me that the shadow puppet shows usually take their stories from the classic Chinese novels, such as Romance of the Three Kingdoms. But what he's about to show me is something very different.
然后你们直接在这里，可以后面吗？看，
可以后边看一下，后边看一下你看那些新皮影，新皮影在这儿，然后这就是我之前给你提的那个坦克嘛，做的新皮。比如说你从那里边藏着的，我敲这个，然后他就开始出，一停这儿了，然后我就唱一句。
你会唱啥？
它坦克叫做法系轻坦130，介绍它的名称吧。用我们老乡的腔调就是法系轻坦130，咚咚咚咚咚，一停，
哇塞！
开始演奏。
You can tell he's Generation Z, can't you? Combining a game and a shadow puppet show? How cool is that?
从在此面来故东，撒乎无人来救援，那些人口就高手。
这是个女巫，
女巫。
对，她的武器就是这个武器。
You see, this is completely different from what you've seen before. This is actually a witch, but she's so cute, right?
配着她，
这是啥？
配着她的。
配着她的。
对，你想一下，她一个女巫嘛，她出来以后。
哦，她有个魔力。
对，然后她一个放个技能，知道吧？
啊。
然后就这个从这儿，她就飞过去。
Man, it looks like you're actually performing a cartoon.
In order to add animation to the shadow puppet show, he needs his great uncle's help. But it seems he'll have to explain the plot first.
你要啥呀？他要放技能，你把技能搁这挥霍嘞。
啊，
俩人一遭，
我俩人都砸死了。
砸死。对。
哦。
他的剧本到这意思是这个。
对。
像那动画片一样。
对。这到现在都盖的是现实的。
现实的。
哦，对。
你看，有内味了。有点像越南语，好有意思。哎，你看，好多人都在发文艺复兴。
对。
新草为引，为妖怪撒一边，乃至撒笑。
I had the chance to visit another Laoqiang master, Wang Zhenzhong. The discovery that there are elderly performers of old tunes who are not Zhangs suggests that the art is not the preserve of that family alone.
杀人皆遗忘在桃源。
These days, Huayin Old Tunes are often performed independently, separate from a shadow puppet show.
陪毛无牛，斜苍天。
有一个张艺谋的电影，
哦，
你知道用你的唱的那一段儿。
活着。 我想，那你现在我给培养人嘛，培养人了，我慢慢都能继承下来。
This is exactly the China I'm talking about. So normally, if you want to learn Huayin Laoqiang, you have to find a master, and he had to agree for you to become his apprentice, and then he would teach you. But right now we're going to Weihe Normal University, because here there's one place where children and the students can learn from a teacher in the classroom. Wow! 我的天哪，好热闹！
这就是我们把中小学生都和我们在传承的过程中有链接。右手拿梆子，哎，左手拿铃铃，啊，这么一个乐器，哎，它是一个我们相当于我们小提琴。
完了，可以想，
我想
右手打一下，
这个打两下，这个打一下。
This is a challenge for the brain, guys. Okay.
就是这个敲。
哎，你知道我感觉我可能换个手。对。
哎，换个手也可以。
Oh, wow.
Nice, nice.
You know, guys, this really looks like what they do in Kuai bar. It's called Kuai bar, but it's pretty much it's usually made of bamboo, and then they make a rhythm, and then they kind of rap in Chinese with different jokes.
二老齐呐喊，催动人马到阵前。哦嘿，哦嘿嘿嘿，哦嘿。
那么大家坐了凳子的时候，就是有表演的这个过程要改革，他就不愿意把那个皮影的这个表演，就把它取掉了。
对，
就是我们现在这个传承，取掉以后，他有牵手。那么在这个过程中，那个老艺人叫张四季，个子不高的个老的，他们在凳子说里没有这样的改革的，他一脚把凳子一脚踹把凳子踹倒了，踹倒了或者导演说 OK， 这个就要的就是这个风格，他就表现，就把这个凳子作为我们表演的一种特殊乐器。
对，用了多少年了？这个？
差不多也有7、8年应该。
Wow, it's been used for more than 7 years. So cool. 大，Soldate! 你这溜了呀！弄坏了。He just broke it down, guys. Too much passion. Guys, what I really realize is that it's not only about music here, it's also about being in the moment and actually acting the whole thing out. You have to create an atmosphere of if you're going to war or a battle. It's not just about performing a music, it's performing the whole thing. It's like a musical. Wow. 哇，真的很震撼，很震撼。
And having a go myself, I discovered that Miss Yang, the club's organizer, a professor whose usual focus is Western music, is also an excellent teacher of Laoqiang.
再下来的时候，是吧？头和身体的整个状态。
杨老师，我发现每一个学生都非常认真在学习我们这个传统的艺术。
是的。这个老腔不单是有传统文化这个我们这个课程的一部分，但是更多的还有和现代年轻人融合的部分。
比如说呢？
哦，我们叫现代老腔。
北
Miss Yang feels that Laoqiang expresses the local people's passion and their culture. The shouting and exuberance on stage reveal their great enthusiasm for life.
老腔是最有特点的、有特色的，它在舞台的这种展现、奔放，从内心到外在，肢体的，包括我们说的律动，实际上都是一种文化自信的体现。唱的时候，包括他的表演，他的气势，他都要用腰力、精神精气神、腿脚。我们在
特别有那种陕西的人的这种特点。
是，并且他要腿要抬起来。 整个的姿势，这个的展现，就是它是发自内心的。他们能彰显他这种传统文化的这个张力，那就深深的吸引着我。
What is the spirit that moves this ancient form of art forward? I found it in the people that dwell here. As their passion for the things they like, it's how they're so brave about expressing themselves. And sometimes they're even being loud about it. But I think it's because of their personality that this old form of chanties from the merchant boats turned into such a unique, almost rock and roll style of folk singing. And I can't wait to see what the future is holding for this beautiful art. I'm Yegor, and I've been living in China for more than 13 years. Everywhere you can find representatives of intangible cultural heritage. This is exactly the China I'm talking about.
You've traveled to places where others couldn't be, seen things others couldn't imagine, and heard stories you can't be sure whether to believe. They say that you're privileged, that people look up to you, but only you know how much effort you've made. You're on the ultimate journey to discover a country with 5,000 years of history and nearly 1.5 billion people. Is it a green countryside or a vast sea of neon lights and skyscrapers? Is it a dangerous land choked with smog or the blue sky of a summer's day? What is this China for you? And what is this China for the rest of the world? CGTN. See the difference.